Oh, hello, hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having a good Thursday. Everyone's Thursday is going well. Let me just double check that I am actually all up and running. I am. That is good. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing good. Move some bits out of the way. We are good. Well. Hello, Realist. Hope you're doing well. Hope your week has been good so far. Given that it's Friday tomorrow, and I discovered I'm like streaming like 3 days in a row, which I haven't done for a while. We'll see how it goes. And that is not something that I can share on stream. That's good. That's very good. I love it. I love it when that happens. Something interesting happens. I go, ooh, that's interesting. And I can't talk about it. Love it when that happens. Got shown Deoxys a few days ago. Nice. I do plan to hunt it eventually, but my god, am I like not there yet? It sucks. I gotta get through, well, basically the entire game before I go and do that. No, the minute I'm still bloody stuck on Weedle. Oh, I'll get there. I will get there eventually. That is pinned. Nightbot should be good. Interesting, it hasn't pinged off a message yet. You know what's really interesting? I bought a card yesterday that I think is going to do quite well in the long term. And when I bought it, there was only one listed on eBay. I checked again today. There's now like 4 of them listed on eBay. Why does it have to do that, eh? Always the case. I would have bought more yesterday. Oh, I would have bought another one yesterday if it would have been listed yesterday. But the problem is I've got to really stop my spending. I've done a big spending spree, and I've got to stop. There's 2 on eBay? Yeah, 2. Wow. Okay, 2 on eBay UK. I only ever search for UK. I never search outside of the UK. Because then you're paying buttloads of shipping and it sucks. Hey, hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're happy. Congratulations on the new job. Did you take it in the end? Are you going for it? I know contracts were sent over, but you know, anything can still happen after, you know, before contracts are signed. And I bought a what I would classify as a cameo card. Because I was like, yeah, it's decently cheap. But then after I bought it, I sat down and I went, how much have I actually spent this month on Pokemon stuff? And I sat down and I tallied it up and I went, that's way too much money. I need to stop. So that's good. That is so good, considering we're like 3 days into the month. Very much so. You'll take the job. Nice. Waiting on the... Oh, it was the draft. Oh. Still waiting on a further reply, but it's basically secured. Well, congratulations. I will warn you, working in a smaller company can be trapping in and of itself. As someone who currently works in a smaller company, I feel very trapped. And I say small, it's a team of like 4 people. So that's small. If you're in a bigger team than 4, you'll probably be all right. But because I'm the only one who kind of does what I do, I kind of have been like thinking about leaving for like over a year. But the problem is because I'm like, the team's so small, I'm like, great. It's kind of like that whole department disappears if I leave. But then again, I'm also just like, how much do I care about it? But a pay rise is also really good. So that's good. This is finally you're telling your manager 2 for your month's notice. Nice. Oh no, again, you kind of want to find that middle ground, and that's what's really difficult. Like the really big companies will just, burn through you. They don't care, As long as they're getting work out of you, that's all they care about. And then it's like, it's just high turnover. But bigger companies, I don't want to say you're more guaranteed for work, but it's seen typically as more stable as a job versus a smaller company. It's probably 2 or 3 times a year since I started working at the place that I've heard my bosses specifically said to me, might be a bit rough this month because we're not getting any orders. And every time I go, right, I didn't need to know that. Thanks for making me panic that my job might be in jeopardy for seemingly no reason. And your bestie works there? Oh, it's even better then. Don't worry, Realist. I've put over, what is it, 3... Well, I mean, just 33... Probably... No, I've probably put 90 hours into it. No, I've put way more than 90 hours into Palkia. And now I've put over 24 into Weedle, because wherever possible, I do try and save the game. Sometimes I don't remember, and then I close down the game, but most of the time I try to remember to save. Because I kind of like knowing how long a shiny takes me. But the one good thing is, tomorrow is my last day for a week. Got a week holiday. Although it's not really a holiday because I've decided I am like drastically trying to pack in as much content making as possible next week. Which will also probably be the start of uploads happening at least once a week. Shorts. Outside of just the streams as well. So that will be good. They're already expanding actually, and that's why he's hiring. Nice. Very chill boss and team. But your skills are more appreciated there than where you are now. And it's the perfect reason to move. Plus the fact that the pay is slightly more. Not massively more, but sometimes it's not always about the money. Obviously more money is nice, so. And it's more money. So it's a better work environment and more money. You couldn't ask for a better situation to go for, right? The downside is for me, wherever I end up moving, I'm taking a pay cut. And I'm aware of that. So it's a bit of a shame, but there's nothing I can do about it. But no, next week is going to be manic for me. I'm going to be like actively trying to get eBay sorted out so I can start selling stuff on eBay. and also making content as well. It's gonna be a weird week. It is a long time, I realized. No, that is true. It is a long time. I think because I stopped Friday, and then I don't think my boss has realized. Don't worry, my time is booked off. I'm not going into work. But I don't think my boss has realized. And come Monday, he's going to be in for a shock because he's like, yeah, let me keep tinkering with this, and we'll push getting that order out until Wednesday and until Monday. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to tell you I'm not here Monday. I was booked in the system. I think actually he's the one who okayed it. So I'm going to be like, yeah, no, you okayed it. I'm not coming in. Having a week off. Am I sitting on my ass at home? Yes. Does he need to know that? No. I'm not working. That's all that matters. But no, so I think I've got like 6 or 7 currently, and I'll probably try and do some more over the weekend. Bits of content that I'm either finished script writing or I've got plans to just write the script. And then I think the plan is they're going to be once a week unless I can get kind of multiple done, and then I'm like, well, I can afford 2 a week. I mean, you're the only one who could ban yourself, Elo. What, would you prefer me to have lied and said I've got 10 or 11 planned things? I mean, if you really think about it, I've probably got about 20 or 21 things in the current list of things that I'm like, maybe I could do. But I also don't want to burn myself out on trying to make stuff. So I've got 2 scripts done, but that second script basically is going to be like 3 or 4 other videos. I just need to tweak it ever so slightly. And then, yeah, basically it's going to just be kind of rapid planning. Gonna be get those 6 out. As they start getting views and hopefully feedback from everyone, because obviously if people aren't happy or they feel like it's a waste of time or whatever, people will say, right? That's my way of looking at it. Get feedback, move on, make the next one better than the last one. But in regards to that, I think I do have to actively try and make a proper long form video. I think I'm going to try next week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plan over the weekend, and then Monday or Tuesday try and record it, and then Wednesday, Thursday edit for like a weekend upload. So potentially next week there will be 1 short, possibly 2, more than likely 1 because it's the first week, and then 1 long form video plus then the 3 streams. And then the goal is to try and figure out if that's sustainable to keep going forward. We'll see. Deep schedule is absolutely cooked and you don't have to fix it. Do you want to know what I used to do? I used to just stay up all night. Younger Pete was an animal. I can't do it now. I feel old. But no, what I used to do in my, I guess you'd call it high school days, secondary school days, is I would end up playing games all night, but I wasn't allowed to do it. And where I lived with my mum, I lived in a flat. So basically I couldn't hide anywhere, and my computer was in our front room. So I'd basically stay up all night, 5 a.m, because I know kind of what time she would wake up. So 5 a.m, I used to then go to bed, and I used to play on my DS in bed. And then as soon as it got like, as soon as I heard rustling, I was pretending to be asleep. Then I would wake up and then go to school the next day. And then sleep that night. But I think that didn't help me in my later school times, because I vaguely remember like nodding off in class, like sitting there closing my eyes and then like jittering myself awake, which is something I do quite a lot. I don't know if it's like a self-preservation thing, but what I've noticed is, and when I do it now I still kind of get the same thing, is if I rest my eyes, it will get to the point where my body kind of drops, or I don't know if it's my body or my mind, but it like jolts and it's like, oh, you're falling, and then I'm like, whoa, I'm awake, and I'm like, well, no, I wasn't falling, but my body was just like, hey, wake up. It does it, well, most recently it's done it on planes. I get it on planes quite a bit, but then when I'm on planes I'm also like thinking that it's constantly dipping when it's not. So like I'd sit there and I'd shut my eyes and I feel like I'm bouncing, but I'm not bouncing. And then I'd open my eyes and I'd be fine. But then I'd shut my eyes and it would be like, oh, you're bouncing. Nowadays, it gets close to 10 p.m. and I'm like, I want to be in bed. I want to be asleep. Let me go to sleep. And then now it's bloody summer. My body goes, oh no, by the way, we know it's 5 o'clock in the morning and we know you got to bed late and you haven't been sleeping super well. Time for your ass to get up. Which is great. The other thing is I've got to wake up early tomorrow. Because I'm not on dog sitting duty yet. I'm on dog sitting duty next week. Well, no, starting from the weekend, but my brother's out at a work event this evening, and he's not getting in until later, which is great. Oh, so the thing is, I've got blackout curtains, but because where my bed is pushed up against the window, there's still light leakage around the outside, so it's not like fully blackout. But like it's good enough that if my bed was on the other side of the room, I'd be fine. But like I sleep like under the windowsill. Well, I get it anyway. But then I also get the dog. If the dog's sleeping with me and he kicks me in the night, I always have horrible night's sleep whenever that happens. I just can't say no to him. Too damn cute. But no, my brother's at a work thing this evening, so he's not. I don't know what time he's home. I can tell you for certain, though, that if it's any time between now and when I end stream, I will be getting up very quickly to shut my door. I believe he's bringing someone around. One of his friends from work. Means don't say his stream has just died. No, I don't think it has. It's just my player's just not happy. Yeah, and that's all it takes, and then I'm awake. I feel like an old man because my dad's exactly the same. My dad and me both kind of, when we're awake, we're awake. He very much is the same as me in that regard. But my brother, he'll sleep through anything. You can wake him up, give him food, say, hey, we got to go in 5 minutes. He'll eat the food, lay back down, close his eyes. He'll be asleep again. I can't do it. He got that from my mum, and I'm so jealous. Because I did not get that. I got the waking up constantly. Once I'm awake, I'm awake. It sucks. To be fair, there's one thing that I've always wanted to know, but I've never had the willpower to figure it out, and that's if I snore in my sleep. My dad snores like a fucking no end. My uncle's really bad with it as well. I don't know if I snore. And I'm dreading the fact that one day someone's going to go, "You're a really loud snorer." And I go, "No." I've spent years and years and years thinking, I don't snore. I sleep peacefully. Only to find out, yeah, you snore like it's the end of the bloody world. I'll cry. I will physically cry if that's the case. Hey, Cloud. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. But no, thinking about it, I've got an idea for a video, and I think it's something that I can do quite quickly, something that I can do quite easy, and I think it'll be fun to do. Let me put it in my notes. Stuck on a train? Oh goodness, I love trains. My brother always goes, "You're autistic," because I just go, "I love trains." And I do. I really like steam trains, but I'm not like super massively nerdy about them. But I love steam trains, and I just absolutely just love them. I don't know why. There's always been a part of young Pete that's always liked the whole, I don't want to say steampunk vibe, because I don't think I'm too into the steampunk vibe. I love steam operated vehicles, and I don't know what it is about them. For me though, it's specifically steam trains and steam, like, I don't know. Like, I like it. I think part of it is a fast. Do you know what, actually? Like, one of my lifelong dreams. I don't think it will ever happen, but like, you know, you gotta dream a bit. One of my long-term dreams is to own a steam train. Like, not like a little toy one, like a full size, whatever gauge the gauge is for tracks. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'd want it to be like a, hey, by the way, it's a heritage railway, or it can go on the main line. I don't think I'd get one that could go on the main line, but like a heritage railway steam train that's mine, I think I'd love. Oh, I'm not yawning. I'm not yawning, I promise. Greg must be close. Hey, Rishi. No, I'm hunting at the first encounter. I've already failed it once, and that was over 4,000 encounters ago. Well, 4,645 to be exact. Dog keeps going, you stay up all night, do stuff, which is obviously hunting, and then you make it through night. Then you go to sleep in the middle of the afternoon. No, that's the problem, realist. You can't sleep in the middle of the afternoon. You have to make it through to the evening. You can go to sleep earlier than you normally do. So, for instance, you know, instead of going to bed at like 10, 11, or, you know, 9, 10, 11, you go to bed at 7 or 8, get like a couple more hours in. You got to try and stay up slightly later and then get up normal the next day. Like in one? You mean like in the front of one? I don't think so. However, this is the problem. I have decided, I found that they do experiences, and they're pricey, but they're not ridiculous in my opinion. So again, it's over £1,000, which may or may not, seem ridiculous to you for an experience. But this is like the highest tier that this railway offers. And they allow you to ride on it and basically you're doing everything for like 32 miles. So basically you go up the track, down the track, and you do that about 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. No, that's insane. I've ridden them, but I've never been actually. I've ridden in carriages, but I've never ridden in. I don't think I've ever ridden in the footplate. Could be wrong though. Could be wrong. I don't know though. Just got back into the game again. You found out you're encountering them before beating the game, so you're beating the game back to hunt for the Dialga. Ooh, nice. Yes, definitely do it. Definitely do it, Reshi. My brother did it. He got Shiny Dialga in like 4 hours. And I've been hunting Shiny Palkia for like 3 years now. On and off, but 3 years. If I remember... Because this is the problem, right? I like them so much. I did a 2-day like staycation in the UK. I took more pictures in those 2 days on steam trains than I had done for the entirety that I've had my Apple phone, which is about 7 years. I've been to foreign countries. And I've not taken that many pictures. I go look at steam trains. It's about 3 times as many pictures as the next most pictured thing is just steam trains. It's a problem. It really is. I think I did slightly better this year skiing than I normally would do. But like there's still the steam trains like absolutely decimated the number of pictures for anything else. 682, nice, Reshi. Yeah, hopefully you get it. I've not had that much luck, but then I had a Rogue Staraptor critical hit on Quick Attack, so that's what I get for trying to not catch it in the Master Ball. If I remember, I'll post. There was one picture that I'm like, that's my magnum opus. But the problem is, I kind of don't want to share it. It's my magnum opus. Maybe I'll put one. Maybe I'll put one on that I didn't share anywhere online. There's a few that I'm like, yeah, these are really nice pictures. But then I'm also like, I've shared these ones on my personal accounts. Like, I don't want people stalking. Oh no, I did do that over a year ago. 26 was this year. Yeah, wow, that's insane. But no, it is very cool. I wanna do it. Trying with your body telling you that you want to sleep. Yeah, you gotta sugar, caffeine. Gotta do anything to stay awake, and then you can crash. The problem is, Cloud, skiers are like so far advanced. I'm seeing that they're already predicting, like they're already getting ready to predict weather patterns for like this coming year, and it's like, man, that's just insane. They're like, yeah, this will be the best times to go because we're predicting this snowfall based on this weather system. It'll be like, this is what this typically means. And I'm like, cool. I just want to go skiing. well, the only issue, and it's a big thing with skiing, is to stay on. Obviously, if the mountain's not, I'm gonna say groomed. If the mountain is not like pisted or whatever, and you're just like wild skiing. Wild skiing is dangerous because yeah, avalanches can happen. But typically, if you're skiing on like a pre-planned route, you're not likely going to die in an avalanche. Because nothing triggers on that kind of stuff an avalanche. It's not impossible, but it's less likely than if you were, you know, wild skiing, off-piste skiing. But that's why I don't off-piste ski. I'm very much a on the mountain, very basic skier. Which reminds me, I've also actually got to start using my rollerblades to practice for the off season, because I do want to try and do some cool stuff on skis this year. But no, I gotta decide. I think I gotta decide whether or not I'm doing two ski holidays or one ski holiday this year, because either I need to try and find the money, or I need to stop spending the money. Both of which are very difficult for me to do, because I like spending the money, but I also don't like selling things. So I'm like, I've got some stuff that I can sell, and I was doing the math today. I'm like, yeah, we can get like, just for the base stuff we've opened recently, I'm like, yeah, even if conservatively we get like £150 for what we've opened, you know, this month. But then I'm like, I don't want to sell it. I'm like, I could just not sell it. But then I'm like, if I don't sell it, it's gonna turn into one of those things where it's just hogging up so much more space. It's like, I didn't even realize we had a RAM kit sitting under my brother's bed. And when he moved out, he took his bed with him, and my dad came in and he was like, hey, do you want this? I'm like, yes. I didn't even know we had it. And I was trying to figure out, I think I paid like £30 or £40 for that kit when I bought it. And I think I checked the other day and it was like £135 for the same kit on eBay. And I'm like, yeah, I should sell that. But the problem is now I'm like, do I actually want to sell it, or do I want to keep it? Although, if I sell it, I could buy more Pokemon cards. Don't want to be that person. That's the problem. Nah, I'm much more a fan of... Oh, no, never mind. It's like £180. What the what? What the what? No. No. 15? No. Oh, that's the only thing. I don't know if my RAM is I don't know if it's working or not. I'd hate to sell it and have it not be working, but like £150? Oh my god. Then maybe I should sell them. Maybe I should sell them. I was like, they're just sitting here. I've been moving them around as I've been moving on my desk around. And I've been like, do I sell them? Don't I sell them? I think I want to sell them. I think I've got to. Like, I got to look at it objectively, right? Like, if they're just sitting here, like, I'm a hoarder at the best of times. I should sell them. I really should. But like, it's good money. Like, it could be I'm selling for 182. 150. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Okay, this was another thing. So I recently bought something on eBay that I paid good money for it. It was a graded card. I was talking to Cal and I was like, it kind of came like really under packaged. And I felt a little bit bad, but then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I shouldn't feel bad about it. I paid £135. The guy shipped it in something that cost like 40p to buy. And I was like, I didn't leave a bad review, but on eBay you can leave feedback. I left neutral feedback. I was like, it's not enough to be bad because it got delivered okay, but like I paid £135 for this thing and you shipped it in just a 40p bag and just threw it into the wind. Like, if that cracked or anything, like, it was just really underprotected, and I got quite annoyed with it, especially because I bought 2 cards, 2 different price brackets, one slightly lower than what that one was and one slightly higher. Both of them came incredibly packed, like so much better packed. And I was just like, this one's dead in the middle and it's packaged horribly. So I left a neutral review. I didn't go like negative, but I was like, I left a neutral review. I was like, it's not packaged amazingly. Actually, if I go feedback, it says it's 100% positive. It's not. It's 1 neutral. I click on the 1 neutral. It's my feedback. In the last 12 months. No, most recent. Fast shipping, item exactly as described. Package felt a little light for the price. Because it turns out it was. It was so light for the price. Bloody ridiculous. Getting shaft. Because if it would have cracked, he probably wouldn't have taken it back. And I would have been stuck with something that's fucking not worth all that much. And a guy going, no, you can't have your money back. And I know you didn't do that. You shipped it horribly. But anyway, that's that. All right, crowd. Yeah, see you in a bit if you remember. Hey, John. How you doing? Your week is going well. Palkia, indeed. Good. Good. We've not got that many resets today, which makes me feel good. Makes me feel good because it means that I've not got a lot to do next month. A lot to do this month, not a lot to do next month. Which is good. Unfortunately, John, to be brutally honest, I'm going to... and you know, if you're not a return viewer after this, I 100% get it. I'm going to say no. And my caveat to that is, if it was like, if you'd been coming like 4 or 5 months, then you were gone for a little while, then you come back, then I would say, you know, yes. It's one of those things, you know, like if Cloud or Elo or Greg or, you know, any other ones who pop in. Colt pops in from time to time. It's always nice to see Colt. Zilla popped in the other day. One of those where it's like, you know, if you've been around for a while, you disappear, you come back. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I've missed seeing you. One of those. Or the other thing that gets me, and it's not happened as much recently, but it still does happen from time to time. Someone will come in and go, have you missed me? And I'll go, I don't know who you are. And they go, oh, it's me. I've changed my name. Well, how am I supposed to know who you are because you changed your name? Like, I can't say I've missed you if I don't know who you are. Like, they'll come in with a random username and just go, yeah, it's me. So-and-so from 6 months ago. I'm like, I didn't know it was you. You know, they'll just go, hi, have you missed me? No, I don't know you. Oh, yeah, no, it's so-and-so. I've changed my username. Okay. You've changed your username. You know, you can change it all you want. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen you, you know, in that much time. I had someone come in and they'd be like, did you miss me? It's me. Like, I don't remember you. they're like, yeah, I came into one stream 6 months ago. And I went, look, to be brutally honest with you, I'm not going to remember one interaction 6 months ago. I work full time. I stream, 3 times a week. The streams have, I can pull up the number. Obviously, this isn't individual people. But the streams, can I search via live streams? I think I can, can't I? Yeah, 500 people come in on a monthly basis. So in like 6 months, it's like 2,000 people. Oh, it's fine, John. It's just, I find it funny because people, I think, assume that all I do is stream and then that's it. Because that's all you see. Right? No one sees that I work. No one sees that I spend time with my family. No one sees that I do things outside of the streams and I have, my own life. They just assume, hey, I remember them. They should remember me. I'm the same. I had it. I went into a stream years and years ago. We're talking like 2017, 2018. And I was quite close with this streamer who I recently found out made it quite big. Because of fucking ads. I was like, oh, I remember that guy. So I went and subbed to his channel. And he didn't remember me. And I was like, oh, okay. No, that's fine. Different life now. Interestingly enough, I still am friends with him on Battle.net. I'm still... His ex-partner is still following me on Twitter. It's just one of those things where it's just like, the life's still kind of intertwined, but like, they don't remember anything. And it's like, okay, it happens. But part of me was like, man, I just wish he would have been like, oh, I remember you, how are you doing? One of those situations. And then he didn't, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I get it now. I get it. But still, I understand wanting to believe that someone who you spoke to a couple of weeks out of the year, 4 years ago, still remembers who you are. Not going to happen, unfortunately. But I get it. Again, it's different if someone comes in and goes, hey, I'm so-and-so, I changed my name, do you remember? And I'll be like, okay, I remember. My main job, I work in IT at the minute. My explicit title, because I had a look, is computer technician. Because I've been looking over my contract to make sure I know how long of a notice period I need to give my job. And originally I thought it was 3 months, because that's what we'd originally talked about years and years ago. When I first started at the company, I was like, okay, yeah, 3 months, that's fine. And then I got I got a new contract in November that I kind of didn't read. And I was reading through it. I was like, oh man, I need to give a 3-month notice period. And then I was looking through it. I was like, oh no, it's 1 month. 1 month up until year 5. Well, year 5 for me starts in July. And then after that, it goes up to 1 month plus 1 week. To be fair, Cloud, it's not just you. Like, there is like 3 or 4. And it's really annoying because some people will be like, yeah, it's me. I've changed my name about 4 times in 4 weeks. And you're like, just pick a name. Like, pick a name, stick with it. It makes it so much easier for me because I don't have to try and remember, right, so you were this person, but then before that you were this person, and then before that you were this person. Oh, and that's where we had most of our conversation. Like, I know them as X person, and then it would be just like Y, but, it's one of those. But no, it's interesting because originally before getting this job, I was going into plumbing, and I half wish I went into plumbing. Just because I would be making just as much money as I make now, if not more. And I would also probably be happier as a person. But the problem is now I can't go into plumbing. Well, I can. But the problem is I need to be an apprentice for like 3 years and do more school and do more stuff. So for me, it's just not worth it versus what I currently do in my job. Oh no, I like my job. I hate my job. Also, Cloudinello, it's a bit unfair for you two because you're members or a mod. So you keep that tinge in chat versus someone who doesn't have that and who's never had that. But no, I both love and hate my job. When I get to do just the bits of the job I like, I love my job. When I have to do other bits about my job, I don't like my job. Like, my boss is like, yeah, do support. Yeah, do support. I hate support. I don't want to do support. But it's also, because the company's so small, I feel like I can't say, no, I don't want to do that. But I've made it abundantly clear. I'm like, I don't know, you know, I'm not a trained professional in this. I'm kind of clutching at straws a lot of the time onto what the problem is and how to fix it. And my boss is aware of that. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just not something I can do. So I like my job, but I also hate my job. I am actively looking at changing my role to something completely different. The only problem is, and it's not so much a massive problem, but it is something for me to be aware of, is no matter what I go and do, I'm taking a pay cut. And I'm aware I'm taking a pay cut. And because I know I'm taking a pay cut, it kind of doesn't matter to me exactly what I go and do. But I'm just like, you know, I wanna change direction. Would I love it if content creation could be that direction? Yes. Is it likely going to be? No. Not in a million years. It's just not possible. Oh, there's plenty of stuff I want to do, John, but the problem is I'm not qualified exactly for the stuff I want to do. My primary one was I was looking at a postie, which is just someone who works and goes and deliver parcels and things like that. I'd love to do that. Like, for the UK, it's called Royal Mail. I'd love to do it with Royal Mail. But the problem is that you need to be able to drive a manual car. You have to have a manual license. I don't have a manual license. I just have an automatic license. So I'm currently in the process of getting a manual license so I can go and do that. Gonna be Postman Pat. Not quite as cool as Pat, but I do think I want to go and do Postman. Postman Pete, exactly. It again, the primary draw of it. Well, realistically, I got to look at it realistically. I'm taking a massive pay cut going to do it. I'm taking like probably a 30% pay cut. Let me see if I can figure out the math. Oh, you can't do that on this. Oh, I have to do it on my phone. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Okay, not quite as extreme as 30%. I'm taking about a 20 to 25% pay cut to go and change my role. Which is quite a chunk. However, the work hours is like 6 hours a day. It's one of those things where it was very much a reduction in hours, possibly, but also like one that would just get me on my feet and moving around a lot more, because my current job doesn't have me moving around a lot. And I feel like I would just prefer a job where I was a bit more active without like killing myself in regard to being like a laborer or something like that. See, my name, I was never called my name until I got into my adult life. And then I was like, yeah, my name's Peter. But like I started work, I was like, I'm going to use my like professional, my legal name. I've gone through my whole life being a nickname. And now I was like, you know what? I'm going to professional world. I'm going to be going into it. I'm like, yes, I'm Peter. Instantly, that got chopped down to Pete. And then I've just been Pete ever since. I don't know what you thought Pete was short for, John. It's short for Peter. Not that there's much of a point in shortening the name, because it is just one letter. Oh man, yawns are kicking in. Hello. Hello is short for hello. No, hello is short for hello. Hello is short for hello. One of those. Or my first guess would have been as your first name? Yeah. No, I mean the only one that pops out, and I don't know, again, it's just random pulling at strings, would be Eloise. Would be my assumption. Only because I know a few Eloises. The spellings you can get for Eloise also, it's insane. I think I knew about 3 different ways of spelling that name. It was like incredibly weird. Some people went, actually, I don't know if it was their name or not. I knew people who went by Ella. I couldn't. And again, it was one of those things where it was like, I cannot for the life of me remember if that was actually their first name or if it was short for something. Again, I think it depends on the spelling, Elo. Because, like, it can kind of be one of those where you look at it and it's difficult to pronounce. I get it. I get it with a couple of names where I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce that. Like certain combination of letters, and I'm just like, ooh, I don't know what sound that makes. Eloise, yeah. Eloise. Again, I don't think it's hard, but then I grew up around people whose name it was. So I've never had like a problem pronouncing it. To be fair, I don't know if it's my if it's my sister-in-law's name as well, or she's not technically sister-in-law, my brother's girlfriend's name, because she just goes by L. Torres. Like the footballer? I'd say Torres. Again, I don't struggle with it, but other people do, and I 100% get it. I struggle with some. I look at it and I go, I'm just going to shorten that to something I can pronounce. But yeah, literally my entire... Well, no, the only reason I go by Pete more so than anything now is because my workplace has abbreviated it to that, and I've just been called that for the past 5 years, and I'm like, I guess it's Pete. The only reason I think, I mean, if I'm pronouncing it correct, is because of the, I believe, footballer. I can't remember his first name, but I do believe his last name was Torres. Luis or Elo. Fernando. That was it? Was it? I don't think it was spelt like that, though, was it? Was it spelled like that? I feel like it was spelled differently. It might just be me, though. I have to ask my brother about that. But no, I don't struggle with Eloise. I was gonna say, I don't struggle with a lot of names. Fernando Torres. I'm trying to think. Am I thinking of that guy? My brain just is not working. If I'm remembering this guy correctly, did he only play? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I remember him from his Chelsea days. And the only reason I remember him for his Chelsea days is because my brother was a Chelsea... Well, I think he still is a Chelsea fan. And I vaguely remember that being the case. I'm not a Liverpool supporter, so I didn't know he played for Liverpool. But I know he played for Chelsea. Well, no, I only knew because I looked it up. But yeah, now I remember where I know him from. And that's Chelsea. Has he stopped? Oh no, he has, hasn't he? It says that he was doing something now. He's a manager. That was it. He's managing a team. Nicknamed after him? Oh god, you're young, John. Say my previous online names have had nothing to do with like me at all. Like my very first one was based on my favorite dinosaur. My next one that I then kept basically from, and I still use to some degree, from 2011 through till now to some degree. Has always been the same. Well, I don't want to call it my claim to fame. But somehow I have rubbed shoulders, so to speak, with an awful lot of relatively successful YouTubers by either pure coincidence or I've just been on servers with them. One of them to this day, I'm still on his friends list. I don't know how, by the way, I pulled this off. I've checked about 15 times. It is the legitimate YouTuber. I don't know how I pulled it off. I don't know how I'm still on his friends list, but I am. And I can see all of his friends. And there are some big names on his friends list. But I don't know how I did it. And half of me's been like, I want to message him. Then the other half of me's like, if I message him, what's the likelihood he kicks me from his friends list? He has 48 friends. I don't know how I'm his friend. I don't know why he still has me as his friend. I don't want to ask any questions. And honestly, I'm pretty scared to like do anything with it, because I'm like, yeah, that's just a bad thing waiting to happen. But I think, is this guy I was gonna say Millie. Does he have 1 million subs on YouTube? He does. 1.2. I don't know how I did it. I'm not going to pretend that it was like any stretch of the imagination. And part of me is like, I want to talk about it, but also part of me is like, if I talk about it, I'm going to jinx it, and then he's going to remove me, and then I'm going to cry. Winter Flays. It does sound pretty cool. Also, I have no idea what Warrior Cats is, but I'm intrigued to learn if there's an animated series about it coming out. Imagine if he watches the stream. He doesn't. I guarantee you he doesn't. My Steam account and my YouTube have no correlation at all. This was a brand new account, like created years after the initial request. I think I sent him a request in like 2016. It was back in the day where it was like, there's no likelihood that he's going to accept, but he did, and I chatted with him for a little while, outside of streams and stuff. But it's like, I don't want to be like, hey, do you remember me? Because that just feels weird. Also, my content and his content don't overlap at all. Completely different. If I was still playing, if I was still kind of like debating making content about games that I enjoy outside of Pokemon, we would probably 100% overlap, and I could probably somehow wiggle my way back into talking with him, but it's just not likely gonna happen. Okay, I don't need the knowledge cloud. I'm just thinking of maybe picking up the animated series to start. I don't need the lore dump or anything like that. I mean, you can ask John. I don't know if it will be good advice. Half of me wants to brag about the friends that my friend on Steam has. But I'm like, if I do that, it kind of narrows it down a little bit. Actually, no, it doesn't. I mean, I would say there's no harm in trying, John, but you just have to set expectations realistic. What I would say, and I kind of recommend this to anyone, my nephew is trying to do a bit of YouTube, and I'm trying to give him videos into kind of things to do differently than what he's currently doing. Don't get me wrong, he's not doing anything horrible now, but I'm like, hey, you know, he's uploading like hour-long videos of just him playing games, and I'm just kind of being like, hey, try and focus on stuff rather than doing that. What I would say is work on shorts before working on anything long form, because shorts Shorts will help you iterate quite quickly and try and find a niche that a lot of people aren't serving. Basically, just try as many different things as you can, editing styles, whatever, in shorts. That would be the way I would say go about it. Make them under 30 seconds. Make them, you know, super catchy, whatever. But do it about something you're interested in. And then improve every time you upload. It's the way I'm thinking about it is kind of different to Mr. Beast's, but you can do it a bit quicker. Mr. Beast was like, make 100 videos and improve 1% every video. That works fine, but if you're making 15-minute videos, those improvements are going to take longer and longer and longer to show. Whereas if you do it in shorts, and you make 100 shorts that all, you know, 1% better each time, and they only take 30 seconds, you know, it's 30 seconds to make, you're going to improve much quicker than if it was a 15-minute video. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I'm into it, I want the lore, then that's fine. But if I don't get into it, I don't need the lore. My brain retains useless information at the best of times. So having useless information for a series that I'm not going to get into is pointless. If I was into it, different story. But if I'm not, then it's kind of pointless. The other thing is my brother. My brother is constantly like, I'm just going to stream when I want to stream. And I'm like, and then you're complaining. Well, he's not complaining, but he's like, he has no viewers. And I'm just like, don't have a constant schedule. You just stream when you want to stream. Like, you need to have a schedule. Granted, this week I'm deviating from my schedule, but my schedule is pretty much the same. Like, I haven't changed my schedule. Oh, God. It's just one of those things where it's just the way I kind of work is, you know, I like having the schedule. So I'm trying to say to him, look, have a schedule. Stick to it. Stream once a week, but stream constantly once a week. You know? Instead, he just kind of streams for a little while and then doesn't stream for 6 months. And then streams a little while and then doesn't stream for 6 months. And I'm like, you should just try and stream. I feel like that last notification I deleted is important. You have a schedule? I have a schedule I try and stick to. Which is, at the minute, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And for the most part, I stick to it. This week, I deviated a little bit. Oh, and the first Saturday of every month. I've deviated a little bit, but like I'll stream today, I'll stream tomorrow, and then I'll stream on Saturday. But for the most part, I try and stream 3 times a week. Yeah, deal with it, Cloud. Deal with it. I'm in my big bully mean mode. And you're just gonna have to deal with it. But no, my YouTuber lore is pretty insane. I think, anyway. Although actually thinking about it, I don't think I actually show up in any videos. I was like, maybe I do. I don't think I do. My friend shows up in a couple of videos. One of my longest time friends who I've had since like the very, very beginning. 10 years ago. Yeah, over 10 years, I think. I used to play on an Ark server back in the day called Bongo Island, which was a very, very early days Ark server. Trying to see if I can find. Oh yeah, was that it? No, that was when the server got announced. I'm trying to think if I ever actually made it into the video. I had like a few people, and this was one of those situations where I had it where I was like, "Hey, it's me," and they go, "Oh, I remember you," because I used to play on it quite a lot. But yeah, it was. I'm just reminiscing, watching stuff. I'm trying to find if I was in any videos. I don't think I was. But yeah, it was one of those. Is the age rule apply 17? No, it's under 13. 13 is the YouTube minimum. If anyone's like, yeah, I'm 12 years old, instant, you know, because you know, yes, the stream is marked as mature, but like it's under 13. If anyone's like, yeah, I'm under 13, that for me is just an instant timeout. It's a ban. But no, YouTube is very well. YouTube isn't so strict on it, but very much. But yeah. Find the bloody if I'm in any video. I played an awful lot on this server. Apparently not. God, I'm just reminiscing. Man, I love this. This is so cool. That one. That was it. 35. I was a part of that. And I remember I was a part of that, but I don't think I'm in the video at all. Because I remember because it was really late at night and I stayed up really late to play. One of those situations. Wait, is that me in the frame for a second? Oh my goodness. Am I going to get to the stream? Probably not. I'm not that lucky. If I could find some part where I'm like, yeah, you can visibly see my old name or anything like that. I might be like, yep, that's me. But I can't even remember what I was going as. Ugh. Oh yeah, don't worry, John. I have to get up early tomorrow as well. No. I could have sworn I was here. I was on a Rex. I'm now actively scanning. You know it's bad when I'm like scanning, sitting there going, oh, I swear I was in this video. Ugh. No, I can't find it. I'm gonna, like... I was in that tribe, though. I swear I was in that tribe. Maybe I was on one of the Rexes. Why do I remember that I was on a Rex? Oh no, I didn't. I used to have it in my Diaz under my pillow. Okay, no, there's my friend. Because I remember, I know his name. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that and maybe send it to him. Actually, I haven't spoken to him in a little while. When was the last time I messaged him? I feel bad messaging people who I haven't messaged in a little while. Okay, it's literally been like 2 years. Is that bad? December 24. And even then, I'm like, should I message? This is the problem, right? We've never met. And he's very much what I would classify as an online friend. But to a degree, I have known him for like, it's been like over 10 years now. But I'm trying to find if I remember being there, but I don't remember what my old name was. See, because I swear I was either in that tribe or I knew that person. And I know eventually we were in the same tribe because eventually I joined his tribe, but like I don't think we were in his tribe. I was in his tribe at the time of this event. But I vaguely remember being at that event. And I vaguely remember just that event in general. But I can find no proof of me being at that event. But I can remember being at that event. I know I didn't stay for the whole thing because I vaguely remember going to bed. I just hope I haven't accidentally missed a shiny because I'm sitting there like scrolling through old videos. No, again, that's not me. No, no. No. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I don't need to know. I don't need to know. I know we were in a different... I know I was in a different video. Talk to a minimum of 3 people per day. To be fair, it's not that I ignored him deliberately. It's just one of those situations where it's like we just didn't talk as much, and then we just stopped talking as much, and then it just kind of like ended. I think there's stuff is I'm still watching the videos. I think there's stuff in there that correlates to things I did. But I can't remember if that was something that happened. I also don't want to message him and be like, hey, did I do this horrible thing to you 10 years ago? Do you happen to remember that? I've never asked him about it before. No, it's just one of those things. I was the last one to message him. And we were talking about a new Atlas game that I never ended up picking up. But I'm also like, do I just want to message him and just see how he's going? But I also don't know how to start that conversation back up, if that makes any sense. Like, oh, hey, by the way, I know we haven't talked in... Oh, I need to stop. I need to get off that, because otherwise I'm going to send him a bunch of... He's probably... No, he probably doesn't care. Yeah, but I also don't want to be like, I don't want to be like, hey, by the way, I was talking to my stream chat, and I'm just wondering, did I do this horrible thing to you, 10 years ago? I feel like I did, but I'm not expecting him to remember. But I also don't know how to start it, because it's one of those situations where it's like, I haven't talked to him in so long. I don't want to be like, hey, hey, random question. 10 years ago, this happened. Did I do that to you? But I also don't want to start off being like, hey, how you doing? Been thinking about you lately. Because it kind of comes off creepy. But I don't just want to do this one thing and be done. I wouldn't mind getting back in touch with the guy. But I also don't know how to start that process all over again. It's like I'm friends with a bunch of people that I went to school with, but like I haven't talked to them since I left school. And I'm like, do I want to open those can of worms again? I know one of them got married. But again, I haven't talked to him in 6 years. And I know he got married. But we kind of kept in touch after school. Keep in mind, this was like 4 years after school. Gotta stop doing that. People get confused. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm like, I should connect back with people. I don't really talk to, no offense to you lot, I don't really talk to many people nowadays. I used to talk to a lot more. I don't really talk to people much anymore. So I'm like, I should try and expand my talking to people range. But then I'm also like, I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to be like, and I also don't want to be sitting there waiting for the message. I'm one of those people where if a message comes through and I see it, I'll respond as soon as I see it. Like, for the most part. Sometimes I let Cloud's messages sit there for a little while before I let them gestate for a little while before responding. Like if I wake up first thing in the morning and I click on it and I go, 6 messages. Like I'll shut my phone off and I'll go, I'll give that a little bit. When I'm more awake, I'll be ready to mention. I'll be ready to respond. I'm into random topic type person. I mean, to be fair, it's not that I'm like, I can't talk about stuff. Like, again, like, it's, for the most part, I've known the guy for years. So I'm like, I wouldn't mind picking back up and seeing how his life's going, because his life was entering a pretty interesting direction. But I'm also like, I haven't spoken to him in 2 years, and I'm kind of like, do I just message and just be like, hey, how you doing? Want to reconnect? Because, I don't know, it just feels a bit weird. Not bad. It feels bad. Or do I just go something completely left field, just buy him a game on his wish list and just be like, got that for you, enjoy. Obviously nothing massively expensive because I can't afford it. But I'm also just like, that seems very weird. Like if I'm actively just like, hey, it's been a little while, how's life treating you? I feel like that's fine, right? Luckily, I don't think he's aware that all this kind of stuff has started up in the last few years. Oh no, he did know. He did know I was streaming because I was bugging him to start streaming because he did a little bit and then he didn't. Because that was something I saw, right? And it feels really bad, but it's like a psychologist was just like, if you're ever thinking about someone, message them saying you're thinking about them. Don't like try and force it. But I also, this is the other thing, I don't want to do it so late at night where I send a message and then go to sleep. And then just don't respond for like 12 hours because that would make me feel bad. Also, I bought a drink in for me to drink. I've not touched it. And now looking at the time, I'm like, I don't want to touch it because I'll be up all night. But I'm also one of those people that if I send the message at night, I'll find trouble going to sleep because I'll be thinking, what if he responds? What if he responds? What if he responds? I don't want to seem rude. What if he responds? I'm one of those. I hate leaving messages on read unless it's like family or I've sent like a silly message. I do it all the time with my cousin's partner. I will send her a completely random video. I sent one 2 hours ago. She hasn't seen it. I sent her a different one. She saw it yesterday. She just doesn't respond. But like my cousin, I can send him like 15 messages. He'll never respond to any of them. To be fair, I used to have audio on Discord, and what would happen is I would send the message, and then if I was asleep and I heard the message ping, I would wake up and respond to the message and then go back to sleep. Because I used to be very in on that, but not so much anymore. But no, okay. If do I? Okay, here's the question: do I send one this evening, or do I wait and send one in the morning? Send it now? God, hello, you're a masochist. Morning? Okay. I'll go with that one. I prefer that one. And again, I'm like, I need time to brainstorm the message. He's postponing it again. Yeah, I'll postpone it. You're damn right. I'm a serial procrastinator. I will procrastinate going to the toilet just because I can procrastinate going to the toilet. I'll procrastinate everything. I procrastinate work. I sit on my phone for more than like probably 4 hours a day at work, 5 hours a day at work. My work day is like 7 hours. I spend about 3 or 4 hours sitting on my phone, not work, procrastinating work. The problem I have is I don't know what to say. That's my problem. I'll be like, you know, kind of how do I start the message? Like, hey, it's been a little while. How are you doing? How's life treating you? You know, like one of the, you know, hey yo fam, you still alive? To be fair, I could just send him a GIF. But I also, you know, we've never done that in the past, so I don't want to be like, yeah, GIF sending. Yeah, I mean, but it works because it's like, it just makes it easy for me. But I feel like it also got to the situation where it felt like I was trying more to keep the conversation alive than he was, and I kind of don't want to go back to that. Like it's one of those situations where I'm like, it kind of felt like that, so I'm like, do I want to pick that up if I feel like the conversation's just going to trail off again? Question away, Cloud. Why not? This stream is very much turning into a therapy session for me, more so than anything. And I can tell because the stream has got 2 likes, which means 2 resets, which I'm happy with because it means I don't have to do a lot of resets. This month's resets are going to be much less than normal. Good. Unless I start uploading more content, in which case it might also drag it out a bit more. It's not so much the this thing that ultimately disappointment. I mean, I haven't talked to him in 2 years. Like, there's nothing that I'm like, yeah, it would be a shame. But it's like, if we pick it back up again, cool. But if we pick it up for like a month and then it drops, I'm gonna be in the same boat that I was anyway. That's the thing, it's not like some of them where it was like, we're talking like 2018. Like, part of me is like, I don't want to pick up those conversations. Or some of them are even worse, like 10 years. I'm like, I don't want to pick up any of those. I get it worse on Facebook. When I'm on my Facebook and it's a case of, I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, so-and-so's online. I remember so-and-so from school. And then that's it. I'll be like, I could message them. Or, as for the most part, I was very much and I think most people got kind of, you know, one of those situations. I was very much a creepy little teenage boy, and I'll scroll back through some of the old messages and I'll be like, yeah, I kind of don't want to pick up this conversation and open this can of worms again. Like, hey, how are you? Don't scroll up, please. So I very much am like, I don't want to message people. But again, I sit here and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I talk to you guys, but like outside of like old friends, like I have like no one, and I'm just like, man, I'd like to reconnect with some people, but then I'm like, people don't want to reconnect with me. Is there any point in like trying to go down this route of reopening a can of worms that probably doesn't need to be opened? Yeah, so I'm like, I'd love to reconnect with some of these people, but then I'm also just like, you know, do these people want to reconnect with me? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is probably no. But then I'm also like, if some people were in the same boat that I am, wouldn't it be like, are they thinking to reach out to me, or are they thinking they don't want to reach out to me, or you know, that kind of situation where it's like, are we in that situation where they want to talk to me but aren't, and is it like I want to talk to them, but you know? And I'm also like, I'm quite happy. I'm quite content in where I'm at now. I don't need to open up any kind of can of worms. Like, it's also weird seeing some of the old people who I used to hang out with, and I'm like, aren't you like some of them got like old, but then I've got to remember it was like 10 years ago. You have a lot of people that you lost connection with. One I know who wants to reconnect, they don't really put in the effort themselves. Yeah, it's like, I kind of want to, and again, a lot of people that I know from school kind of post quite a lot on Facebook. And I'm like, yeah, I could post on Facebook, but I don't do anything interesting. So it's like, what, I'm going to post on Facebook that I'm, like sitting on my ass at home. I'm going to post on Facebook that I've gone skiing again. Like that's it. Like my last few posts on Facebook have been skiing, then skiing the next year, and then skiing the next year. And I'm like, okay, I should probably think about like posting something else. But then, like, you know, I see some of them and I just can't fucking stop posting on Facebook. And it's like, kids. And then it's like, life, kids, life, more kids. And I'm like, I don't care about your kid. I'm like, oh, just stop. Don't care about your child. But then I'm like, I want to post cool stuff. Like, I want to post me having, like, the time of my fucking life. And just fucking be like, hey, joke's on you guys. I don't have any responsibilities. I'm loving life. But I don't know. I really don't know. I need to decide what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, no, like loads of people who were younger than me, who I went to school with, or who kind of knew my family for a while, they have kids, and I'm like, God, like, I don't want to say I feel bad for them, but I'm also like, I get to sit here and play video games without a partner nagging me to do stuff. I get to sit here and spend probably a lot more money than I probably should do to, you know, to open up, like, Pokemon packs. Like, you know, I spend more money than I probably should on cards. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah, maybe Pete in a couple of years will be like, man, I wish I had kids. Right now, I kind of don't care. And I'm also kind of like, God, you've done... I don't want to seem horrible, but I'm like, you know, you haven't done a lot with life. And it's like, locking yourself into kids when you're young, to me, seems a bit like silly. Next pack opening stream when I can buy cards and not rip them ridiculously early. They all made retorts towards you to be wanting. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A lot of them, don't get me wrong, a lot of them do like their kids. But again, some of them don't, but some of them do. And it's like, okay, yeah, you know, enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, I think I would eventually like kids in life, but I can't foresee that happening. And the worst thing for me is my my parents are like, oh, I go to them and I'll be like, yeah, I like the idea of, you know, kids and all of that. And they go, oh, you should get on a dating app. And I go, I don't fucking want to be on a dating app. That's not where you meet people, is it, realistically? And let's be real. You don't meet anyone worthwhile on a dating app, in my opinion. And, you know, that's not me throwing hate towards anyone who's found their partner on a dating app. I just don't foresee it as the right choice for me. It's like, yeah. I would like kids, but I gotta be realistic to a degree, you know. My ideal age that I was like, I'd love to have like my first child when I'm 30. That's when my dad had me, and I'm kind of like, yeah, that I feel like is a good age. But then I'm also like, that's like coming up to 3 years away. I'm like, I'm single as a motherfricker. Like, I cannot see that being I can't see that happening. And again, you know, I got to be realistic. If I find the right person and it turns out they don't want kids, then, you know, I kind of have to deal with that. But, you know, just because I would like it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And it's one of those things, it's like, yeah, I would like to think that my partner would be the same as me, but I can't foresee that being the I can't foresee that being the case. Thing. That is the thing. I can. It's much simpler for a man to get a vasectomy. Not necessarily be sterile, but to eliminate that as a risk. It's like a 10 to 20 minute surgery. It's not a very long surgery. And you know, it's not that. From what I have seen, it isn't that you know, I was gonna say life altering, but obviously it is to a degree. But it's a hard conversation to have with your partner, isn't it? Unless you're each other's ride or die, it's a very difficult conversation to have. Be like, hey, do you mind, you know, potentially never having kids again? You know, would you take that risk for me, even though, you know, unless you're each other's ride and die? If you're each other's ride and die, that's fine. It's more a case of you can never tell what the future holds, right? Again, for me, I would like to try it, you know, having a kid. But again, my partner has to be down for it. If my partner's not down for it, then obviously I can't. And it depends if that person's my ride or die. I feel like nowadays it very much is a conversation that is potentially had very early on in a lot of relationships. Yeah, I think yeah, you have to have it very, very early on. It's not a conversation that can be, you know, rediscussed at a later date type thing. Again, I think for a lot of people it is a deal breaker. Lord knows there's nothing worse than going into a relationship and then later finding out that there's a big deal breaking situation that could have been solved very early on if you talked about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything. There's other important stuff to obviously discuss, but in my opinion, that's probably one of the biggest ones to start with. In my opinion, is the children, the kids situation. I can't personally think of much else where it's like, there's a lot of stuff you can kind of work through, but I feel like that is one that very much kind of need to be on the same page very early. It's not one that it's like, oh yeah, we'll talk about it later down the line. I'm trying to think, like wage. I was going to say political view, but I feel like political view doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't make or break someone. For some people, I imagine it does. For me, I'm just trying to think. For me, for the most part, it's not a deal breaker. But again, to each their own, right? All right, hello. Well, yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a good evening. And we'll see you later. Yeah, again, different people's situations. It makes sense to discuss it and have it be a thing. For me, it's not the be all or end all. But I understand for some people like you, Cloud, it is. Again, it is all down to the individual. But I think for me, the kids is like the first one that I'd have to be like, yeah, we'd have to talk about it. But after that, I can't foresee me personally having anything else where it's like a massive deal breaker or not. I feel like a lot of the stuff kind of after that I can work, we can work through. But I feel like obviously that, the first one being kids for me is But again, I feel like the main thing, right, is that I'm like, I wouldn't mind being in a relationship. I want to experience it. But then it's also a case of, every time I bring it up, it's a case of my parents going, yeah, you should be on a dating app. Go get on a dating app. Go do the dating app. I'd much prefer, and this is going to sound like ridiculous. My brain, it goes, I'd much prefer like meeting someone naturally, but then I'm also like, yeah, I don't go out enough to meet people naturally. Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat, Cloud. But you know what they say? They say there's someone out there for everyone. I don't know who says it, but all I know is they say it, apparently. Nope, absolutely not. I find it funny. I occasionally see the ones pop up where it's like, it's the reels, and it's like, I'm waiting for the perfect partner just to show up at the door with no dating. Yep. Yep, you never leave the house and you're just waiting to find the one just sitting in your room. Yes. Is that too much to ask for? Apparently. Apparently so. We'll do 20 more resets. We're at 48.50. That'll be me done. Obviously, you know, as with everything, it's a case of, you know what, go out, experience more, do more, you'll be fine. Talk to more people, you'll be fine. But it's also a case of, if I do, you know, what happens then? Yeah, I'm a sucker for romance stuff, but like, I'm also just like, you know, realistically, I'm like, yeah, I'd love to be in a relationship, but I think it's one of those that it's like, you know, you gotta do stuff to be in a relationship, and I like me too much. Oh, it's Thursday. Yeah, I'd love to be. I'd love to be in a relationship. I'd love to figure that out. But I don't have enough time. Brain thing is, yeah. I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. Oh, as much as I'm like, I'm happy, I'm also like, I would like to experience it. But then again, I'm like, I'm happy. I'm content. But I'm also like, you know, I could do better. But yeah, it sucks. I don't know if I want to be healed. I feel like if I'm healed, I won't be as funny. I just want to be me, but I'm also like, you know, gotta be realistic that for that situation to work, one of two things need to happen. One, I need to go out like so much more and just be outside. Or two, I need to well, no, that's it. Well, there's some things I need to do. No, I think it literally is just I need to go out more and be out more. You want to be mean? No, I want to be me. I'm happy being me. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy at the minute with my life. I'm content. I would like it to be better, but we'll see. All right, 2 more. One more. Last reset. And then I will be done for today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Boom, last one. No shiny today, but that is fine. We shall continue next Wednesday with more. Keep forgetting I've got a shiny monkey. But no, that is me done. I'll be back tomorrow for more, although tomorrow it will be Weedle. And then, yeah, Saturday will be the first punishment stream. So I will love you all and leave you. Have a good one, everyone, and I will see you later. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.